Hello friends, let's see how to write a simple Java program and how we can store it and what are the logics behind it. So let me start with the very first program, which is, let me create one class. Suppose there is one class A, B, C. This is one class. In the same program, suppose there is another class called XYZ, and there is one more class EQR. Assume some code is written over there, and as you know, in this whole program, as this is a single program, there could be only one main function. So it could be either in ABC or in XYZ or in PQR. Let me assume that our main function is inside XYZ class. So now the question is, okay, when you will try to save this program, what will be the name of your program? You have three classes, ABC, XYZ and PQR. So your name of the program, first question is name of program. So the name of the program will be fixed and it will be xyz.java. And the reason is very obvious, that because your main function is inside xyz class, that is why the name of your program will be xyz.java. Okay, so now how to compile this kind of program? So as for compiling the program, we will use Java compiler, and you can invoke that using Java C. Java C is the name of the Java compiler, so you will have to write Java C space xyz.java and then enter. When you will enter, if your program is not having any error, then this compiler will generate three dot class files for your program. And the reason is because in your program there are three dot class files, there are three classes. So first will be ABC dot class, comma, second will be XYZ dot class, and third PQR dot class. Because there are three classes in your program, if there are more classes, then more dot class file will be generated. These dot class files are known as bytecode of your program. Bytecode. So when you compile, system generates bytecode, and then this bytecode can be used to execute your actual code. So for executing, we use interpreter, that is Java space xyz. What is it? Java space xyz. What is Java here? Java is the interpreter. The name of the Java interpreter is Java. So when you will write this, your actual program will execute and you will get the output. Whatever output is going to be generated, it depends on the program, it will be generated. So this is the procedure of saving the program. So as you can see, xyz.java will be the name of the program. You will have to execute that file, and then there will be three dot class file because there are three classes in your program. And if there is no error, you can interpret, or you can say you can execute your actual code by writing Java space xyz, again xyz. Why xyz? Because xyz is the name of your program. So then you will get your desired output. So let us see in detail how Java works. So there are two things. In C or C++, there were compiler which converts the .c or .cpp file into .exe file. In Java, you have compiler. What it does? It converts .java file into .class file. Then you have interpreter. A byte.class file is also known as byte. So interpreter, what interpreter does? Interpreter convert this byte code into machine. Java.java file is also known as source code. So source code into byte code and then byte code into machine code. This is the procedure of Java. Okay, so byte code is very important. It is platform independent. I will draw one more diagram through which you can learn that how a Java is advantageous. See, there is Java source code. Java source code. This Java source code will be converted into byte code, and this will be done using compiler, or you can say Java C. It is the compiler, and this byte code will be converted into machine code. Now this is the problem. Now there could be different JVMs. So let's listen. Java is also known as platform independent language. Platform independent. Java is also known as platform independent language. Why? Because of bytecode, or you can say JVM. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. So if any machine is having JVM, so using JVM you can convert this byte code, which is platform independent, into a machine code. Maybe this machine code could be used on Windows. So you can say this JVM is used for converting this platform independent byte code into a machine dependent machine code. This will be a task of JVM. This is the working of JVM. There could be a different machine code for Mac OS. There could be a different machine codes for Linux or Unix, whatever you like. So this is JVM and this is the working of. Remember, bytecode is platform independent and machine code is platform dependent, because every working of every machine could be different. So for that purpose, so converting a bytecode into a machine code, we require JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Okay, Java Virtual Machine. Remember this. I hope you are able to understand all these things. If you understand, please visit my site, which is edushree.in, and give your valuable feedbacks. Thank you.